I just came across an article recently from a World Health Organization, and they said if we practice 4 good lifestyle habits, one was maintain a healthy weight, exercise regularly, eat a healthy diet, and not smoke. And if we do those 4 things, we reduce our chances of dying from a chronic disease, a chronic degenerative disease, by 80%. So right. I would suggest, and that's pretty good, right? But that's only 4. I would suggest there's a whole lot more lifestyle factors that we have control over than 4,
sure.
Right? So the more the better. Welcome to the Christian Healthy Lifestyle Podcast, where it's all about opting out of the medical matrix and taking greater control of your own health. I'm your host, David Sandstrom, your resident lifestyle modification expert, and this is episode number 172. I want to remind everyone that I'm starting an online membership community that'll complement the podcast and my book, but significantly expand on the content. I'm in the process of creating a library of online courses that'll be available inside the community. I plan to do regular live Q&As with myself, of course, and some expert guests where you can interact with me and the guest and get some questions answered. Of course, we'll have a group of like-minded believers that want to opt out of the medical paradigm or the medical matrix and take more control of their own health so you can avoid chronic disease and pursue aging gracefully and abundant living God's way. I also think it'd be nice to have a weekly newsletter that's only available to members. I might even offer some office hours where members can schedule an appointment with me and have a little one-on-one health coaching to help you move the needle in your health-building efforts. Now, I'll be soliciting feedback from the founders, so as a founding member, you'll have a chance to shape what the health club membership turns into. Now, as a founder, you'll also lock in the lowest price that'll ever be offered for the membership, and your cost will never go up. If that sounds intriguing to you, I invite you to get on the wait list, and I'll keep you informed as the launch date approaches. Just go to chlpodcast.com/membership, and you'll see the waitlist sign-up box there. I look forward to hearing from you. Today we have on the show Dustin Howes. Dustin is a part of the Natural Nation, and he's here to do a lifestyle audit. Dustin, welcome to Christian Healthy Lifestyle.
Hey, thanks for having me, David. Great to be here.
Oh, it's really a pleasure to connect with you. Thanks for signing up. You're kind of the guinea pig here. You're my second lifestyle audit, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not used to this format just yet, but we'll get it done.
Well, hey, I'm happy to be a part of something revolutionary. I love the concept of, being open and free, and if my story can help anybody else, it's all worth it. So happy to be here.
Yeah, well, glad to have you on. So let's set a goal here, and let's pretend for a moment that I'm a genie in a bottle, and you summoned me, and I can grant you 3 wishes for your health and wellness. What would you ask me for?
Wow. I think the first portion would be all about trying to help fix my ADHD, focus, and depression all mixed into one, superpower that I have, essentially. And getting a better handle on that would be my ultimate, wish, I guess. Okay.
All right. Very good. I've got a few ideas already. How's your sleep doing? How would you rate your sleep?
Rate it would be in the 5-ish range. Okay. I would say. I rarely get 4 hours in a row. I very super rarely get 6 to 8 hours in a row. I have no problems falling asleep, but staying asleep is the big issue that I have.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that sounds good. Well, it doesn't sound good, but I've got some ideas to share with you. Sure. Sorry that you're struggling there. That's rough because sleep is huge, as you know. I mean, it's a big deal. So just because the lifestyle audits are kind of new, I'd like to give the Natural Nation a little bit of background here on my approach to health and wellness. When I have my practice, people would come in, and a lot of times they would tell me the drugs that they're on. They've been to a couple different medical doctors and not found help. And they would be asking me for a supplement that would do what the drugs would do without the side effects. And, that's kind of the fast food approach. It's kind of the drive-through approach, right? You just want something quick, get on with my lifestyle. I don't want to really change too much of my lifestyle. and let me just, 5-minute visit and let me be on my way. But that's not the way natural health works, right? I know that you know that. And so my approach to health is that we've got to consider the total body load. And we have lifestyle factors that will enhance our health and well-being, and we have lifestyle factors that will detract from that or be a health blocking factor. So what we want to do is stack as many health enhancing factors on one side of a seesaw and build a lopsided seesaw, and take away as many health blocking factors on one side and add as many health enhancing factors on the other and build a lopsided seesaw. So that's my approach. And the concept of total body load is this. Imagine we had a couple of sawhorses and we took a 2x4 and straddled them across the sawhorses. And I started stacking bricks on top of that 2x4. The 2x4 could handle a few bricks, no problem. But if I keep stacking bricks, the 2x4 is going to start to sag. And that's when we would develop some type of symptoms. When the 2x4 is empty, think 21-year-old athlete, strong and durable, but now it's starting to give a little bit with a bunch of bricks on top of it. So if we kept stacking bricks, there's going to come a point where that 2x4 is going to snap. So was the problem the last brick I put on there? Or was the problem the total load of bricks underneath? Right? It's the total load, right? So the 2x4, when it snaps, can be thought of as when you get a diagnosis. There's some kind of a health challenge you're dealing with now. So what we want to do is take some of the bricks off our 2x4 and eliminate some of those health blocking factors and start embracing some more of the health enhancing factors, and we'll let our bodies do what they already know how to do, and that is to heal and to thrive. Our bodies are pre-programmed to heal themselves. We don't have to teach our cells how to do their jobs. They know what to do. We've just got to get the obstacles out of the way. Thoughts on that? Any questions?
Following along and completely understand. I love the metaphor for what I'm going through at the age of 42. It just seems to compound until it breaks, and then I go to the doctor. Like it seems like a repetitive nature in my lifestyle.
Yeah, you're not alone. There's a lot of people in the same boat. So so that's what the show is all about, and that's what we want to do is identify some of the lifestyle factors that we have control over. Some things we don't have control over. I can't control the 5G antenna tower that just went in down the street. I don't have much control over that. But we can influence a whole lot of healthy lifestyle factors. I just came across an article recently from a World Health Organization, and they said if we practice 4 good lifestyle habits, one was maintain a healthy weight, exercise regularly, eat a healthy diet, and not smoke. And if we don't do those 4 things, we reduce our chances of dying from a chronic disease, a chronic degenerative disease, by 80%. So right. I would suggest, and that's pretty good, right? But that's only 4. I would suggest there's a whole lot more lifestyle factors that we have control over than 4,
sure.
Right? So the more the better, right? So let's talk about the ADHD. Is this something that you've been dealing with all your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All throughout my childhood, but when I was growing up, nobody diagnosed it or suggested I take any kind of medication for it. So, and I'm thankful that didn't happen because I never wanted to be the person on medication to fix a problem. And so I've never even touched upon it until this year when I started taking some bupropion, I believe the word is. And that has seemed to help with not only my focus, but the depression portion, which just creeped into my life over the last couple of years.
Sorry to hear that. Well, if you start feeling better physically, you can't help but start feeling better mentally because the two are interconnected, right? So let's see what we can do here. So the first thing I like to tell people when I'm doing health coaching with them is it helps to have your why clarified. So if you could resolve your health issues, what would you do? Or another way of asking that is, what have you stopped doing as a result of your health challenges that you'd like to do? Again,
what would I like to stop doing?
Well, what have you stopped doing as a result because of the challenges? And then what would you like to start doing if you got your health challenges resolved?
Sure. I mean, I think finding more time for exercise is a big fix for me, and
Hmm.
better exercise. I'm doing treadmill underneath my desk because of my time is limited trying to be a good dad and working 40 plus hours a week.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to get in that exercise wherever I could, but dedicating a good hour, if not more, a day would be super helpful for me.
Hmm.
And that's a goal of mine I just can't get to yet.
Okay. All right, cool. So you'd like more energy to engage with the family, engage with the kids and the wife, I would assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So when it comes to something like going to the gym an hour a day, we have two types of goals. We have an achievement goal, like something like I want to lose 20 pounds, or I'd like to have more energy, or I'd like to run a marathon. And we have process goals. So going to the gym would be a process goal. You'd say, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week. I know it's gonna be beneficial. No specific end goal in mind. That's just something I'm gonna start doing. So I like that. I like the fact that you've got a process goal there to go to the gym. That's excellent. So your why is, when you find your why, you'll find your way. So your why is I want to engage with my kids more. I want to have more energy. I'd like to feel like I did 10 years ago. Is that a correct assessment?
I feel like I give a lot to my kids. I coach their teams. I'm interacting with them on a daily
Oh,
basis
cool.
and hanging out with them. I think I'm good on that level. Their energy level is unstoppable. So like just doing my best is where I want to be.
Hmm.
And I can still beat them at sports, so I get to rub that in their face.
What kind of
They're eight
sports
and
do they
ten,
do?
by the way.
8 and 10?
All of them, yeah. But I can still handle my own being an athlete. So
All right, good for you. That's really cool. All right, so let's talk about some mindset stuff here, mental toughness a little bit. So I would define mental toughness as exercising our agency or our God-given free will to be in charge of our thought lives. Instead of our thought lives controlling us, we're controlling them. The Bible has some advice for us here. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." So that tells us that we don't have to accept where we're at. We can be transformed. We can do better than we're doing today. It wasn't long ago where if someone was involved in, let's say, a car accident, they had some brain damage, head trauma, they were taught that you'll never gain back what you've lost, and then we just have to work on compensation. You got to work on learning how to do things differently and compensate for what you've lost. But we now know that that's not true. We can, because of neuroplasticity, we can build new neurons in our brains and train our brains to think better and to be more efficient at the thoughts that we want. So that's part of being in control of our thought lives, right? We don't have to be victims. We can be in charge of the thoughts that we let in and the thoughts that we reject. Another Bible verse that I'd like to throw out there is 2 Corinthians 10:5. We bring every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. So if we have a thought that's serving our health building goals, well, entertain it. Let's do that all day long. But if it's blocking or getting in the way of our health building goals, that's something that we need to reject. Philippians 4:8 tells us whatever things are true, noble, just, and pure, virtuous, praiseworthy, think on these things. So that kind of leads me into going into the sleep. Okay, so do you have trouble falling asleep?
no trouble whatsoever. I feel
Okay.
like after my day, after staring at a screen 8 hours, I have zero problem. I read a book in bed for 15, 20 minutes and I'm lights out real
Okay.
quick.
That's cool. That's cool. So let me tap the brakes here a little bit. Any questions on being in charge of our thought lives? Any thoughts that you struggle with?
I would have said no 2 years ago, but I've just, over the last couple of years, I've never been on any kind of medication whatsoever. And the dark thoughts started creeping in, like the stress kept pounding in, and like financial stress and being an entrepreneur and those kinds of thoughts that I was able to control earlier in my life, and put a positive and happy spin on it, it just wasn't working the same for me. So like I've lost that capability to have that control over my mind as well as I would want.
Interesting. Okay. So there's chronic thoughts that plague you, and when you go to sleep, you're thinking about your day, thinking about your week, and you can't just can't let them go.
Yeah, the stress is what keeps me waking me up at night.
Yeah.
Like I'll go an hour, maybe two, and then just be awoken by those thoughts.
Give me an example of a thought that would do that to you.
It would be like, oh, I've got to get this task done today. I should be getting up already and like getting that taken care of. And
Yeah.
subconsciously, I will wake up and like look at the clock and realize it's only midnight. I should probably get some more sleep.
I've actually been there and done that. It might be 2 or 3 o'clock now. Oh, I guess it's time to get up. Look at the clock, 3 o'clock. No, maybe I ought to try to go back to bed.
Yeah.
It happens to me now and then too. So here's a couple of suggestions I have along those lines.
Okay.
You've got to give yourself permission to let that stuff go. You've got to be able to say, okay, I had a guy on the show not too long ago. He was a mental toughness coach, coaches elite athletes. And he had an acronym that he used called WIN. And it was, what's important now? WIN. What's important now? And I asked him this question specifically about sleep. And he said, well, what's important right at that moment? It's to get some rest, right? Yeah, I mean, you're finished your tasks for the day. And if you were to sit there and dwell on the stuff that you've got to get done tomorrow, you're not focusing on what's important now. What's important is that you give your body a chance to rest and recuperate and rejuvenate. Let your hormones be balanced, let your cells recover, and give your body an opportunity to wake up refreshed and ready to face the new day. So I think one of the suggestions I would have for that is, have you ever tried journaling?
I've tried. I've never been consistent enough about it.
Well, there's something powerful about writing things down. And if you were to take some of those, let's say 3, 4, 5 things that you want to get done tomorrow, or let's say this week, and it's weighing on you heavily, there's something about writing it down. You say, okay, now that I've written it down, it's okay to let it go. And when I get up tomorrow, I'll pick up my list and I'll start dealing with it. But right now, I'm going to let it go. It's I think a pretty useful tool. I use that personally, and it's been effective for me because I've had some of these sleep issues you're dealing with too. My thoughts will race and it will interfere with my sleep. And doing some journaling, for me, a little prayer, just turning things over to God. Acknowledging that I am not in control. I have a role to play here, but ultimately, the man upstairs is in control. And I've got to just rest in that, and that helps me rest. Another thing that I do, and I did this for many years, and that is I visualized a tranquil scene. And one day when I was in high school, I lived down in South Florida. I skipped school, and we were just a few miles from the beach, and I just walked to the beach. I didn't even have a license yet. I didn't have a car, motorcycle, anything. I walked to the beach, and I remember taking my shirt off, laying down on the sand, just laying in the sun, listening to the surf, listening to the seagulls, white puffy clouds floating by, and just really, really enjoying that time of saying, hey, I didn't have to go to school today. This is great. I'm loving this. And, a little sweat rolling down the side of my face, that was okay. It was very enjoyable for me. I got in trouble when I got home. School called my parents and, I got in trouble. But it was something I'm glad I did because I used that for many years. And my wife is amazed. I don't even have to use it anymore because I will fall asleep like a light switch. And my wife's amazed how fast I can go to sleep. It's because I practiced the tranquil scene in my mind for so many years that I just got that ingrained in me. When I put my head on the pillow, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to let go of my cares, and I'm going to go to sleep. And it's worked for me. I mean, it's just incredibly good. But I know that you're waking up in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still a great tip altogether. Like I don't do that And I think that could alleviate some of my waking up in the hours if I had tabled my stress and issues in the right format, because
Yeah.
I can't just tell my brain like stop thinking about this and stop stressing about this, go to sleep. It doesn't work like that. I think that tranquility of being in your happy place is a really good tip. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's more. There's more along those lines as well. Is for instance, you can kind of turn your bedroom into a sanctuary.
Okay.
First thing I would do is if you have a TV, take it out, unplug it. You don't want to watch TV before you go to bed. All shows, especially the news, are designed to engage you emotionally, right? They're trying to get you wound up so you keep watching. Sitcom, they still want to grab your emotions. They still want to pull you in so you keep binge watching. Turn the TV off. That is a really, really powerful thing to do. If you have any clutter in your room, get that out of there. Make it a tranquil place. Do you have anything like an exercise machine in your room or anything like that? Your bedroom?
I do. There is a treadmill and a Peloton in the corner of the room.
Okay, cool. Well, good for you for having those. But I would suggest trying to get those into a different room because you want your bedroom to be that sanctuary. You don't want to be in there for exercise. You want to train your mind and your body that when I'm in here, this is my relaxation. This is my place, my place and time to rejuvenate. And I think that would be useful as well. What about caffeine? How much coffee you drink, or do you drink coffee?
I found that when I'm on this medication that is helping with my focus, that caffeine actually triggers my brain to go to sleep somehow.
Wow.
And so therefore I just cut it out of my diet altogether. I will have maybe 1 cup of coffee a week.
Wow.
If I really need something extra in the afternoon to get me through the day. But I've got it out of my diet, which I'm pretty excited about.
That's great. Good for you. That's really good. I think the ideal is no caffeine. I don't drink a lot of coffee myself. I do drink these energy shots. Ethan's energy shots. They're organic, and Herbaeusa is the herb that they use, and source of caffeine is pretty clean. It's really it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I actually had
Send me
Ethan
your
on the
affiliate
podcast.
link there, David.
I don't have one. They don't do that.
What?
But yeah, I'll hook you up though. If you buy enough, you can get a wholesale discount. But
Nice.
I'll let you know after the show.
Sounds good.
That's pretty good. So anyway, back to the sanctuary in the bedroom. Another thing you want to do is stop eating 3 hours before bedtime.
Okay.
Because digestion is a lot of work, and your body is busy digesting that food. It can't not do it. It has to do that. If you send that food down there, your body has to get hard at work. So if you stop eating 3 hours before bedtime, that should help with the restful sleep. You'll be more comfortable, and that's one of the ways you can go to sleep and stay asleep, is not having any bloating or digestive issues going on. Another one is using some blackout curtains and making your bedroom as dark as you can.
Okay.
I have a link on my website, christianhealthylifestyle.com/resources, and there's a link to Amazon there. It's a company called Nice Town Curtains, really inexpensive, nice colors, great quality, blackout curtains. You have to buy the curtain rod that kind of wraps around to go flush with the wall, and you'd be surprised how good they are. And getting your room as dark as possible is very, very useful. We're designed to go to sleep when it's dark out, right?
Okay.
So the darker, the better. Ideally, you don't want to see your hand when it's in front of your face. That would be the ideal.
Okay.
You might not be able to get there, but you know what? Do your best to get there, and I think you'll notice a difference. And here's something else that I think I would suggest for better, more restful sleep, and I really can't recommend this enough, and that is the blue and green blocker glasses. You've probably heard of blue blockers, right?
I've got these from Dave Asprey, like for my screen that I'm staring at all day.
Oh, okay.
and I have found some difference in it. He also suggests
Mhm.
ones like at night to start wearing them a couple hours before bed. Do you have those as well, like
Yes,
red?
yeah, I have
Okay.
those on my website as well. They cost about $60, and they block blue and green, so you're only going to see various shades of red. So
Okay.
blue, green, and red makes up all the colors of the spectrum. So you're only going to see various shades of red. I wouldn't drive with them, but if you're home, it's great. You put them on, and I'm not kidding. If I put these on at say 9 o'clock, by 9:30, man, I'm getting tired.
Okay.
My body's getting ready for sleep. And when you think about it, it mimics our natural circadian rhythm
Hmm.
because a century ago or more, we didn't have electricity for throw a light switch and turn all the lights on and turn all the electronics on. If you wanted light, you lit a candle, right, or a lamp of some sort, a little over 100 years ago. So that red light coming from a flame is okay. It doesn't interfere with our sleep, but the blue and the green do. And I found these glasses, they're a little dark, but man, they are fantastic at making you sleepy, helping you fall asleep and stay asleep. I wake up more rejuvenated when I use them. I don't use them every night, but I use them quite frequently, and they're pretty darn good. I like them a lot.
All right.
I get on my
I'll give
resources
that a
page.
run as well. Love it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else could we talk about here with sleep? I forgot to mention this on my discussion with Dustin on the recording session, but if you've implemented all the changes that I suggest on creating a sleep sanctuary and it still hasn't helped, you might want to consider some supplements. The last thing you want to do is get on sleeping pills because they're very addictive. That would be really, really tough to get off of. So a couple supplements that I would recommend, first and foremost, is a product called Rescue Sleep. It's a homeopathic. It comes in a couple of different forms. One is a dropper, one is a spray bottle, and they also have some pellets that you can put sublingually under your tongue. And that homeopathic works on calming your thoughts. So if racing thoughts are keeping you up in the middle of the night, as Dustin explained in this episode, that would be an excellent product to use. It's called Rescue Sleep. And another one is called L-theanine. It's an amino acid that will help calm anxiety and produce more restful sleep as well, L-theanine. So if you want a good source for those products, go to my website, christianhealthylifestyle.com/fullscript. Use my link there and create an account, and you'll be able to get access to thousands of products that are practitioner grade, products that you can't even get at the retail level, super high quality, and you'll lock in a 10% discount for life and get free shipping over $50. It's a win-win-win for everyone. It's a no-brainer. Go ahead and do that today. Now let's get back to my conversation with Dustin.
I've got
Go
I've
ahead.
got one other like big topic
Sure.
that I don't know really how to handle, and it is what I call Monday mopies. So once I have a real fun weekend and like have a few drinks or have a gummy, to relax during the weekend, I show up on Sunday and I don't take anything and put nothing in my body so that I can rejuvenate into Monday. And Monday rolls around, and inevitably, I'm just a sad day, like altogether. And
Hmm.
I have a very tough time getting my mood into out of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite a depression state, but I feel like I want to sleep a little more, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not as motivated to work. And I want to get that out of my life. And I don't know if there's any supplementation that I can take to help uh, move those wheels faster for me.
Yeah, that's a good question. When it comes to that's like Monday morning blues, when it comes to that kind of thing, I don't have a magic pill. I wish I
Okay.
did, but I do know this. I know that it's hard. These mental health issues are hard. They're stubborn, and I do know that our spirit, mind, and body are interconnected. And
Okay.
by when we strengthen one part of who and what we are, we can't help but straighten the others. It just absolutely happens.
Mm.
For instance, I was in Greece not too long ago. My wife and I were celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary over in Greece, and we went to a stadium called the Pantheon, and it was like a 90,000 seat marble stadium where the Olympics got started.
Yeah.
And I was just pondering that, and I was like, "This is so cool. These people really took physical fitness very seriously." So I don't think it's any accident that the ancient Greeks were into physical fitness, but they also produced, some really smart philosophers and some thinking and philosophies that have survived. Aristotle, these concepts that have survived for centuries. I don't think it's an accident that they were into both, because I think one feeds on the other. So I would suggest that exercise is going to be a great thing for that. It really will. And then recognizing the toxic thoughts and taking your agency, taking your ability to process those in a healthful way. I actually have a PDF that I made that's really good. I call it the ABCDE method of identifying and correcting toxic thinking patterns.
Okay.
And you get the download the PDF from my website. You'll see it's great. I'll make sure it's available in the show notes. But A stands for activating event. So the activating event is something that happens that it pushes our buttons. We react more strongly to that than the average person. This is a hot topic for me, right? Whatever that activating event is, somebody maybe teases you or insults you, or maybe it's cut you off in traffic. I don't know. Maybe somebody flips you off in traffic, but you know what I mean. There's some type of things that can happen to us that will trigger us, and we wish we weren't getting so wound up, but we are. And then B stands for the beliefs or the self-talk that goes along with that activating event. Okay. So where is that self-talk going to take me? And again, this gets back to, am I in charge, or are my thoughts in charge? So we are the ones that should be in charge of all that. So C stands for the consequences of believing and talking to ourselves that way. If I have that happen to me, and I have this thought pattern that comes along, the self-talk that I engage in frequently, where does that lead me? Does that lead me to more relational connectedness with my family? Does that lead me to being a better employee or a better business owner? Is that helping my health building efforts? Where's it taking me? And if it's taking the wrong direction, then you've got to use D, which is dispute those beliefs and that self-talk. Say, hey, wait a minute, is that true? Is that really true? Am I really a victim here? Do I have to react this way? So you start disputing, saying, wait a minute, maybe that's not true. Maybe I've just learned that reaction as a child, and now as an adult, that's what I automatically default to, but I don't have to. I can change things. I can change the way I respond. Then E stands for enjoy the energy shift. So when you practice the ABCDE method, and again, there's something about writing it down. That's why I made the PDF. You can write this stuff down, and you can say, all right, the old me would say this. The new me is going to say this instead. I'll give you an example. I've been leading marriage groups with my wife for the last 12 years. And one of the common things you might hear from a spouse that's wanting to improve their marriage, sometimes I just feel like things will never change. Well, who's the only one that knows the future? It ain't us. It's God, right? Yeah. So when you say things will never change, you're claiming that you can predict the future, right? So is that based in truth? No, it's not. Okay. So a more productive pattern would be, I don't like the way things are, but let's work on this. Let's get some counseling. Let's talk to one another like human beings, and maybe we can both pursue a more productive path. That would be a better way of thinking. So just an example of how to use it, but you could use it for almost anything. Any thoughts on that? Questions?
Love it. I think there's a great power between like going through that ABC process when a triggering event happens. Mm-hmm. And I've never gone through those steps in particular. I've tried to, handle it on my own, but then inevitably if I don't come to a resolution, that's when that stress happens at night, which triggers the bad sleep. So yeah. I love that process that you've come up with there, and I'm going to employ that. I would love to.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll make sure I got a link in the show notes so anybody can download that PDF if they want it. Well, we're kind of running out of time here. Anything else you want to talk about?
Man, I'm good, Doc. This has been really helpful, and appreciate you taking the time with me today and running through some of my problems that I'm having.
All right, I'm glad I could help. Dustin, thank you so much for being on the show.
You got it. Thanks for having me. Take care, man.
Yeah. Now be sure to stick around for the next episode. I'm going to be covering a really important topic when it comes to our health and vitality, and that is being in loving, connected relationships. Genesis 2:18 says, "It is not good for the man to be alone." Now that may be a short, pithy statement, but there's all kinds of implications in there for our health and well-being. I'll be talking about that in the next episode. You don't want to miss it. That's it for now. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Go out there and live abundantly. I'll talk with you next week. Be blessed.